All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Elevated Marketing Podcast, where we simplify complicated digital marketing topics to make your business grow. Brenda and I were talking about pre-show about my hair always being up in a bun now. And, the husband wants the hair long and it's summertime and it's trendy to put it up. But I'm like, I need it curled and like perfect and down. And like, what's the point if it's up?
Exactly. You are in season right now. In full bloom, should we say. Happy spring.
And you and I are like hanging out in the same like colors. Like maybe we just do this like pull in the Elevated Marketing logo like black, colors, but nope. We're going to take that off.
I love
it. All right. So today's show, we are going to talk about the power of giving. And not just that, we're going to talk about it in terms of social media. And we're not talking about a new concept. It's a concept that has been around for a very long time and it predates social media. If in general, you give people enough things in life that they want, then you will eventually get what you want. But you have to help people when you're at a networking event or you are just, I don't know, at home or wherever else. If you help people and you be kind, then you're going to eventually get what you want.
Yep.
And like this 80-20 rule came about for social media. I feel like I don't know the reason why it came about, but I feel like it has to be talked about because social media, people, you have to take the social, put social back into social media. And when people are in a social setting, they don't want to hear all about you and what you need.
Yep. I think it could also be tied in with like organic social media. So when we're posting organically, we don't have money behind our posts. And so there's also kind of like a third party involved in that, which is the platform. But
All right. Before we get too heavy, we forgot what our listeners need. They need our fun and quirky question. I know. Yes, we were getting all bothered. Like, we got to help people. We like to help people. They need to know the fun, important questions here. We are still playing Would You Rather.
Okay. This is
a really fun one. Would you rather have shrimp flavored toothpaste or deodorant that smells like cheese? I think I know. I'm like in Brenna's brain right now. I know which one she's going to say.
Yes. And now, okay, before I say this, I just want to say I smell good, okay? My diet mostly consists of cheese, so I feel like I'd have to go with the cheese scented deodorant, but please no, I smell like roses, okay?
Oh God, I'm not doing shrimp flavored toothpaste because I do not like anything fishy smelling like. So I'm not doing that. Like nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
I would rather smell than have bad breath and taste bad. Yeah, no.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with a deodorant that smells like cheese too. I mean, there's a lot of really good cheeses out there though. So I mean, cheese is wonderful. Like cheese is, I mean,
smell like aged sharp cheddar. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I like cheese. So I'm with you. Cheese, the shrimp flavored toothpaste, I'm probably going to vomit. Okay, back to our hot and heavy. We are being nice. The power of giving. Like, let's give some examples of that 80% like content that you're providing value and you're helping people. What do you think?
Yes, it all definitely starts with your content. How is your content adding value? And a lot of times we're going to be posting said content on social media.
Mm-hmm.
This could be a
Or email
story or email. Very true.
or
Email
podcast.
or podcast. What else are we missing?
Video, live video.
Video.
We're on that too.
You could be posting, like, say you're writing blog posts, you could be posting that, or you could be
Yeah,
sharing that. How about I'll say that rather than posting, we're sharing this
we're
content.
sharing things that we know about an industry
Mhm.
that can be helpful for people because they have questions, because they've gone to Google and they've
Yeah.
Googled questions, and we're trying to be helpful and answer their questions.
Yes, precisely.
Which is how-to guides,
Hmm.
tutorials, like whatever you're selling it product or service to satisfy somebody's like need for that product or service.
Yeah.
And you got to make it fun, right?
Yeah. And I think in some cases too, it could be something that people aren't very well aware of. So our last episode, that was some valuable content that a lot of people probably don't know. And so I think that makes it even more valuable if you're kind of ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay,
that's
that's
just a
your one
little,
thing.
yeah.
Because now you've mentioned us. We've mentioned us a couple times here, so we
Yeah.
got to stop. All right,
Okay.
everybody else.
Not about us. Okay.
Lifestyle content. So I feel like a lot of people want to live a certain lifestyle, and so lifestyle content is content that puts you with your product or service. You're like putting them into that lifestyle. Like think about Nike, just
Mhm.
do it. Like that's athleticism, say that
Athletic.
word correctly. Like, just do it. Like just get out there, just do it. And that's lifestyle type content. Um
Yeah.
Fun and engaging.
Yeah. Well, and it can be relatable to, there could
Yeah.
be a portion of an audience that is maybe, they can
Yeah.
just relate to that a little bit.
Yep. Yep. They can because that's who they are. They're
Mhm.
like they want to get into that. And so they're buying that product because they can relate to it. And they're like,
Mhm.
okay, I just got to get up and I just got to go do this running or this push up or whatever I have to do.
Yeah.
Um,
And, sometimes, not to make it all about Nike, but Nike will sometimes pull in stories of maybe those who have had different challenges. And
yep.
that's
Women
another,
down on
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And they're getting people relatable to that. Like, yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. And it's
Um,
inspiring too.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I think,
Quizzes. Oh, go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like quizzes or polls. Like a lot of people like to know where they fit at,
Yeah.
in different scenarios. So we've done this on websites before.
Mhm.
Giving someone an important quiz or poll. It can be important or it could be fun.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're posting that, say, if you're posting a quiz on or a poll on social media, that'll also help increase your engagement too. And hopefully you can
Yeah.
get some conversation in your comments, and that'll also help you learn more about, your audience and those who are interested in what you
Right.
have to say.
Right. And we see those on LinkedIn and like
Mhm.
those type of places.
Yeah.
So there's quizzes in other places as well.
Yeah.
Um, industry, yeah, we just said that industry news from last week. You said like,
Yeah. I think too, you can celebrate something that has maybe happened within your community or maybe within your company, even. I think that can help not only provide some sort of relatability, but if it's say you win an award, like it can also help create some credibility and maybe strike some more interest in learning more about, what it is that you do.
Yep, that creates trust.
Mhm.
I think some people want to see the business aspect of your business, and some people want to see the fun aspect. They want to make sure that you're not all fun and games, but you're not all business related. So that goes back to like the 80/20 rule of your content. So everybody's definition of like what's of value is and useful 80% of the time is going to be different. And so you have to think about things in that terms of
Yeah.
audience targeting. What does your audience that you want to get in front of, what do they want? Maybe there's like shareable content like, oh,
Mhm.
we learned this, did you know, like this and that, and they still love their industry and so they want to share it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. I think a lot of times too, you can generate some, well, you can get some user generated content out of providing these resources
Oh yeah,
too and providing that value. More people might be inclined to share their experiences. And
we're all about sharing our experiences, good or bad, on the internet.
oh, yeah, definitely.
We are all about it. And you had mentioned pre-show like influencers and
Mhm.
people who have a lot of influence over a certain audience. And sometimes this is called bandwagon content if you want to go back to like older day, like, but it's trending, they're trendy
Mhm.
people, and they're saying this or that. There's definitely a slice of society that are going all after trending information.
Yeah. Well, and it stems from other users sharing their experiences with something.
Hmm.
And I guess really, if you want to look into it, these who are following the trends, they have found value in another person's opinion.
Yep.
And I guess if we want to go about it that route, if we're looking at it,
Yep.
like 80/20.
Yep. I agree with that. I think another value is talking about holidays and
Mhm.
celebrations. You talked about celebrations like but like maybe in terms of holidays, but I think you have to think about that. And does that holiday mean something to your brand? I don't
Mhm.
think you should be posting about every single holiday or local holiday if it has nothing to do with your brand, unless your brand is all about holidays.
Yeah. And maybe say too, if maybe it's not necessarily a holiday that resonates with your brand, but maybe your team was out of office for that day. Rather than posting just about that holiday, you could post about, what some of the team members did. Did they
Yep,
take any pictures? Can you make a reel or a TikTok out of that? Like,
yep,
you could still
yep.
show some, sort of interest in that, if that makes sense.
Yep. The team is not working on your stuff right now. We're off doing this and that, and that maybe you were volunteering, maybe you were
Mhm.
spending your time doing that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that makes sense. So then there's the 20%
Yeah.
where you are actually promoting what you are selling. But I think sometimes business owners or people that only look at the numbers and not the marketing aspect inverse this.
Mhm.
They 80% of the time just want to look at the numbers and they forget about that we're selling to a person on the other end. And so we have to be like brand conscious of what we're trying to push marketing wise, of who we are, and people want to associate themselves with a brand. And once people like associate themselves with a brand, they're a brand loyalist. Like, it
Mhm.
doesn't matter what that brand does. They're going to buy from that brand. And I think today's consumer is right there where they want to associate with somebody that's like doing a good cause. Oh, and by the way, I sell product A, B, and C. Would you like some?
Yeah, I feel like there is a lot of brand loyalty out there. And, within that 80% that we had just gone through, a lot of times that's maybe where that loyalty can stem from.
Yeah. Just keeping people, helping enough people get what they want. You will get what you want. I feel like it's not a new topic, but I've seen some great like graphics demographically of what people want by age and their motivation. And depending on your age, you're 16, 24 years old, you're like fun and entertaining content, and that's what I want. And you have to think about where your buyer is at. And you're 55 to 64, they're only looking for like a quarter. And if you're trying to get to that like demographic, it goes back to the 80-20 rule. And they're a little bit more serious because they've been through life a little bit more, and they've got like different decisions to make. And so you have to think about that in terms of who are you trying to get to. And I think we've done an episode on who's your audience, and like, it's not everybody.
Yeah. Well, and I was about to throw that in there too. With the 20% and these promotions that you're going to put out, you do have to know what your audience is responding to, because you can still make these promotions fun and maybe a little bit more entertaining or engaging. It doesn't have to be super, super salesy.
I think there is one thing that is really hard for a lot of people, and sometimes even marketers, is take yourself out of the buying pool unless you really are the buying pool on what your decision is, and put yourself into the buyer's pool and understand that market. Because if you understand that market, then you can sell to them because you understand their pain points, their emotional points, their like hand on their wallet, and like you're just helping them kind of solve different problems and services, and you're not just trying to sell something to sell something.
Yeah. Sometimes if you're a little too close to that, sometimes you can have tunnel vision, and maybe it's hard to see, I guess, other aspects that could potentially, mesh well with your audience. But
Brenna, we could talk forever on this subject. We're already at like 18 minutes. Okay. Be kind to people. Be nice to people. Would you add anything else to that, Brenna?
I echoed. Okay. I don't think so. There's so much maybe, but I don't know. I think you just have to be willing to produce valuable content, and people can buy from value rather than buying from a demand, if that makes sense.
You could wrap that into our guarantees.
Yeah.
Like the value, like if you sell on value, you want 80% of your people to buy on value and only 20% to buy on promotion.
Yep.
You could tie it into that show.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm not going to end the show like I normally do. I'm not going to tell you to rate and review. I'm going to reverse psychology here. I'm not going to tell you to follow a newsletter or social media reminder. If you want to, if we're providing value, then go for it.
And if not, then
tell us to get better. Tell us we need to get better.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Take care.